Making sure this WEC doesn't get a lead or gain pressure. I'm assuming this soul's going to either run Gilded or Mannequins just for that pressure based. Stereotypically be Mannequins and a lifesteal, right? Looking for a ton of pressure right away. But I am interested to see how they elect to draft it or play it out. That is a ton of stars on Soul. Oh boy. How do I do this? Something like that. I feel like that's not accurate at all, but it's alright. So we did go the Mannequins. You are a double DPS here for the side of Monkey Business. Which is interesting because I think it might be the first double DPS comp we've seen for the BBC Joust League. Obviously, the ton of pressure already afforded them with this Mannequins is clear, getting the lane well before Gates of Guinee ever get there. That is horrific dropped by both teams right away. The pressure on this Achilles via the Soul, though. Ooh. Could easily be turned back. Achilles gets a blink off, and First Blood goes to this AMC. Really love that re-engage with this Achilles, getting that blink off right away. It is a wonderful situation if you're Gates of Guinee. That First Blood also going on the AMC. You couldn't really ask for more. I'm going to keep an eye. I guess the big thing that catches my eye is you also have a Heavenly here for the Soul. That's not an Aegis. That's not a Beads. It's just... You do have CC immunity in the alt, but that is a wild pickup. And they're definitely cooking. Should be the back starting, prepping for this red buff. Only T2s, so they have a little bit of spike coming in here. Hold on. The ultimates drop. The execution just off the mark. Puts Achilles under tower, takes his tower shot, and a kill goes to this Danzo Burrow. Actually, because obviously it was to the right, I don't even know if that was actually in range. Ooh, Danzo Burrow's ulting in. Blocked by the Charon. Bologna does have ult away if necessary. A little pause here. You have 5 sets tonight, Pop-Offs. This is just one of 5. So, yes, we will be watching his. As to it being directly after this one, no. Be Dark Moon Blades versus the Developers will be the set directly after this at 7. Watch that set live. There was 3 sets. There was supposed to be 4, but 3 sets at 7 p.m. EST and 1 at 9. So there's going to be a little bit of fluctuation. I can't believe you're still your teammate. You're just too creative, man. What are we going to say? There's the lifesteal we talked about, so I'm not surprised this Mannequin's pressure into a lifesteal build. We do have Transcendence on both the Danzo Burrow and AMC. Chester spawned now. Take a peek at leveling orders here. Gonna max Scourge. Oh yeah, the Shogun's gonna be insane. Danzaburo ults in, Charon ults defensively, swinging that almost at a 180. Danzaburo has to Aegis. The Achilles misses execute once more with that heavenly proct. Danzaburo should easily go down though. Should be purple buff. The lead is starting to accrue a little bit, almost with this kill, but nothing substantial forming. This is actually wild. AOC decides to pull bull. I'm not a big fan of this. You don't have any sustain in his build. You're not auto attack based. You're ability based. This gets really awkward really quickly. He's got to turn and fight that with this Charon. Danzaburo's already pathed in. This is taking way too long to kill this Bologna. AMC will go down here. Yeah, that pull is just troll. It's ability based. You're not auto attack. You don't even have Transcendence stack. Typically, you want to pull that at 2 items, even if you're auto attack based, let alone ability based. Turns into a pick now. Monkey business. Recovered some of that lead that already started to accrue. Phalanx online for this Bologna. An ADC into a Bologna in general is kind of a nightmare pop-offs, but I agree. Going into another lifesteal. I'm assuming this could be Typhons. This will be that Shogun's we were just talking about with this double ADC comp, giving that auto attack speed buff / aura. What's up, Greatest? How are you, man? Monkey business, there is, like, you're a double ADC comp. This team shreds when this comes online. I feel like a lot of the pressure is on Gates of Guinea to actually find some of a lead, a semblance of a lead. I got a ward placed on Bull just in case, because double ADC can shred through any objective at this point, or any point for that matter. I'm doing well, Greatest. I'm glad you are as well. Not really. Stops the Achilles back. They gotta be really careful of coordinating backs. This actually that ult comes through when Soul's in the Disapparate. Disapparate? Hope I pronounced that correctly. Their dash. Well. Achilles is rapping. Achilles has this blink kind of hovering, wants this double ADC to step up into lane. Danzaburo, obviously full send back. Johnson going to be picked up by Gates of Guinea. I'm assuming this will be full item. It's a T2. Okay. We have the Shoguns online. This is a big spike. So, ability based on both of these ADCs. Almost breastplates online. Red is spawning. This will be that big fight. Achilles is looking to wrap. Charon dashes in. Bologna ults in. Danzo kited forward. The ult comes through. One auto. Doesn't matter. Face has Scourge for this Bologna. Able to secure it. I think we're losing track of this Danzaburo in his 3. Heavenly Zeus. Achilles blinks in. Good body block considering Soul doesn't have Aegis there to make sure the execution doesn't actually get to that Soul. And that is the ability of a double ADC. Immediately shredding a tower. Just a little unfortunate. Dropping Heavenly, making sure they can kite around. Trying to get somebody in front of that execution. It's the T1. This is an what, 9-minute game we're already at. They're already speed running this down. Charon's ulting forward. They should have vision. You got to be a little careful here. Are they able to secure it? Monkey business, able to get it, but can they get out? Yes, Kai. This is the next section or next league. Yes, the next split, I guess would be what we'll call it. No way this actually works. We're about to find out if it does or not. To our Hive Maxine. I'm gonna jump here. We do get Typhon's online. It looks like she's already... Bologna's already going into this Kins. I'm a little... You're double DPS. That's right, she doesn't almost build full tank, but feeling comfortable enough with this massive amount of pressure you already have. Starting to build into this Kins. Soul's the target. Now keep in mind, she went Shell for the Soul. She did not go Aegis into an Achilles execute, so a ton of confidence there. Danziger ults all the way in, getting on top of this AMC. The Bologna ult, more than enough, mixed with this Danziger damage. Soul ulting. Achilles, nice double stun. Shell is used. Actually kind of crazy. Play Joust, appreciate the raid, man. Hope you're streaming well with ranked games. The Achilles had his choice in executions. However, he picked the one person that had Aegis up and a steamroll / speed run by Monkey Business. So this double ADC, a 10-minute, 45-second game. The fastest in the BBC Joust League as of date. Double ADC. Alright. I would have liked to think Soul not having Aegis would have went real poor, but it didn't. GG. New meta. I guess we're finding that out. That's kind of wild. I mean, I think a lot of that comes from the Danziger. Like, they lose track of him with the Rocket or when he's in his 3, and he's getting on top of the AMC, and they don't really have any appeal between these two. Or they just never reclapsed. We missed a couple executions early. I think we missed 2, and then that last final one where he had everyone executionable. The only person with Aegis up was the Bologna, and he tried to execute the Bologna. I think the biggest call, though, outside for this game would have been that bull pull would help or facilitate the Sobek, but also going for Hou bounce. However, I didn't expect an Artemis pickup, especially into a Sobek. That seems wild. But I would have said the same thing about game number 1 and was obviously completely wrong. So let's see what they tend to do with this in game number 2. Artemis farms this team. Alright. Well, you've heard it here, apparently. I don't even know how to actually arrange that. Alright. Alright, same start with the Soul. Artemis looks like she's going into Jotuns, which means she can be ability-based, right? Hou going Gilded into Dominance, I'm assuming. And the Thor going into Root Forge. Sobek immediately pulling this Fafnir, forcing that jump. Do we have enough clear to really fight this, though? Okay. Soul's kind of poked out, a little worse for wear. You got to be careful of this mannequins where she's hitting a couple of these autos. Obviously substantial for the clear, but the poke can be equally as dangerous. Artemis putting traps in front of her, kiting around these traps for the Sobek pluck. Pops do be a fan of this Artemis. I've heard stories, the legends are true. The Sobek able to pluck the soul, but isn't enough. Good hammer and horrific by the Fafnir, creating some separation, making sure the soul doesn't get displaced. The rail, the Sobek animation, kind of plucking her downwards. The separate was already started. The DR for that soul coming off of that. Thor forced the beats just to survive. Shell utilized to make sure this soul stays alive. How nobody has died in that interaction is kind of wild. Kind of hover right here. How are you autoing down this Fafnir a little bit? Sobek just hovering, see if you can steal it. That was a 5 health. Real close for that steal. Trill almost getting away with it. Red spawn, Soul's on our way, pathing in lower right. Ooh, if that bounce was able to connect just a little sooner, that would actually found some real damage. We're plucking the Faf, just forcing that dash. Soul pulled red. And ults it to secure quickly. So we get both neutral camps for monkey business. It is interesting to point out once again, we don't have beads on this soul. Or Aegis. Like, we're going the Shell Heavenly repeat from last game. Obviously not as substantial. I mean, you played into Achilles last game and didn't have Aegis, but they got away with it and made it work, so. Chesters are spawned. Gates of Guinea pulling their central into lane. Johnson spawning shortly. She's just gonna hold her ground. Yeah, which she never dies. It's massive energy. Alright, look at these spikes. You have Jotuns online. We have 20% CDR for this Artemis to be ulting on cooldown. This Phalanx for this Fafnir into a double fizz. Don't quite yet have Bancrofts for the soul, but full first items on Gates of Guinea. Rip the shirt, bruh. Calm down, buddy. Thirsty much? This is game number 2, actually. Monkey Business ran down a 10-minute game with a double ADC. Possibly trying to flex this double ADC showing a new meta? Question mark? Guess we'll find out. Ooh. Thor combo not connecting. Artemis ult drop. Sobek, the target. Soul doesn't have beads, just the Thor landed. Unfortunately not connecting. That is his full combo. Now he is stuck and goes down 2 for 1. You're happy if you're Monkey Business. Unfortunately, a little disconnect for Gates of Guinea. Some missed abilities kind of costing that. Last thing you really want to see is this double ADC really taking off. And both games, they're running away with it. Fafnir gets back off, doesn't get back, gets stopped. We did get rail. Fafnir, he's the only one on the other side of it, has jump. Doesn't have ult though. He's standing up here alone. Johnson will go to Gates of Guinea. Yeah, this Fafnir and with the double ADC is kind of criminal. Blue's gonna be the target now. Take a quick peek at the graphs. It's just wild that both this double ADC comp's getting this little bit of lead, obviously just from the pressure that clear over this double tank. We have to be super coordinated if we're Gates of Guinea to kind of deal with this, get that coordinated dive. I love this Runeforge proc. There's a quarter of this Artemis health. We're plucking the Fafnir. Not really a prio target for Gates of Guinea. I'd rather see that try to get to this Artemis or Soul, but they are kiting properly behind these traps, making it really difficult for the Sobek to really get active. The only thing that's going through my head is it is so wild when I'm looking at the Soul Relic. I'm seeing a shell into a Sobek Thor, Hoi even for that matter, and there's not really a ton of punishment for that. This build kind of stagnant at the moment. Problem is, just like last game, as soon as we find this first pick, we get a little neutral farm. We get a pick. That could be T1. That could be immediately toward Bull. We have more than enough pressure. There's that damage we talked about. That is more than enough. Finally, the damage dropped. Perfect. We get on top of one of the ADCs. That is a little better from Gates of Guinea. Or a lot better for that matter. Getting on top of one of these ADCs, displacing them, and kind of bursting from there. Fafnir ulting. Thor taking the 1v1. Oh, the Fafnir jumps in. That one's going to connect. More than enough damage. Turns it into a 1-for-1. What's up, Sen? Red was secured by Gates of Guinea. It looks like monkey business. But the mannequins were hovering Bull. Hate this wall. I apologize. Fafnir de-transforming. Soul doing really well to make that feel uncomfortable. There's solo mannequins just feeling confident enough to step up, invading and stealing blue buff. Artemis ult used. Oh, I might not have paid a one out from last night. Hold on. That's what I get for doing that. I'll pay it out in a second, son. Ward coverage. More than enough vision here for Gates of Guinea. Monkey business pulling this. There's a full damage Artemis. No sustain pulling that. Sobek gets Artemis beads. We're more than happy if you get that trade. Ooh, okay, hold on. The Thor, that rail sections off that soul into blue, getting a big pick there. We have a little bit of that transition now. What do they do with it? Oh, that's awesome. That's both ADCs cooked. You need to see immediately, we got to make that call for T1 or Bull. Fafnir does have ult and now using it. I think that's the go button. It should immediately go for a Bull here. I don't think you're really shove into it. Unless you get a full combo, you think you can kill it. But Soul's already back up. These death timers still too short. Ooh. Good stun by the Faf, making sure he's able to survive. Thor's getting some value for sure. I love that rail here for the blue. Keeping that soul in the blue buff and securing that kill. These timers are just not long enough quite yet. Right around that 10-minute mark to really get anything off of it. What's up, Wesley West? This double ADC is still getting mid to late. they're going to be able to pull an objective and absolutely shred it. I'm still not thrilled by the double ability base versus auto attack. Obviously, you have a little your auto attack ask with the mannequins, but looks like an oboe trying to help with this clear. Who do I think is winning this one? I guess you'll find out. This is a replay, and the next game or next set will be live at 7 p.m. So I guess you will have to see. This set happened earlier today. I'm not discrediting that. I feel the same way about Medusa, truthfully. If you're going to play that particular god, you should be building up ability-based. I'm not discrediting that at all. But we do like wet noodles. We do have Shoguns on this Fafnir with his 2. This god is going to do wonders. Nah, you're fine. You're chilling, bro. You don't have to apologize for all caps. I like the excitement. Fafnir's backing. I want to make mention. We do have beads instead of this Heavenly for the Soul, but we went a blink on this Artemis. Might come as a surprise. Maybe she gets a good blink off. Be able to punish. Sobek got blink as well. Bounce, not connecting. No, you do not, Frax. It's based off who's listed, who is higher seed going into game. Obviously, it was randomized or semi-randomized for seeding going into the group stages, but games moving forward will always be that way. Or all games and tournaments will always be top seed. Top seed gets first, they create and gets first pick or their choice between first or second pick, and the loser gets to do that for game 2. Follows that format. Rail not connecting. Good sidestep for the hammer. Sobek blocks the Artemis. Tuskies used. The blink forward, getting out of danger by this Artemis. Now they're the aggressors on the Reese chase. The Fafnir with the double ADC punishing that Sobek post pluck. That should be T1. It's a big blink or big blink by the Artemis to get away from that Thor Sobek Aegis Force, and still goes down to the tick damage. The tick damage from Mannequin's Fafnir, unfortunately, proving more than enough. That should be Bird. This Artemis got to be really careful on positioning. The Rail Hammer should connect and kill. Thor doesn't have ult. He doesn't have beads or blink here. He's got to be a little conscious. Just being present. Looks like it's more than enough. He did TP in. Doesn't have the damage to really secure a kill there. Sobek trying to do his best to seal. Good discipline by the Fafnir. Hammering as they were going for that secure. Now again, you can throw a little defense on one character as long as one is full damage. So we cannot have Prots here because she throws Berserker Shield on the soul. The soul. 2 T1 is a little interesting. No wards placed aggressively yet. Faf just calling it out, stepping forward. Sobek ult's forced. Thor not going for any initiate at the moment. Looks like Thor's casting on a wave to clear a wave here. Hoi jump, horrific used. That should be more than enough to kill, and is. The Artemis blinks forward, getting that last bit of damage. making sure that Hou Yi goes down. Wesley West, I appreciate the sub, man. Welcome, welcome. It's good to see you again, dude. Fafnir's an alt. There should be enough damage, and is the Sobek able to pluck out. The Fafnir connects this stun. Good body blocks, making sure he stays in there. The Berserkers with lifesteal from the Soul, able to just work her way through the entirety of Gates of Guinea. Thor, last man standing with his double ADC comp. Maybe a new meta emerging from Monkey Business. Looking for that end. Thor Aegusine doing everything he can to buy time for his team. And it's not enough. Monkey Business 2-0ing in a dominant fashion with this double ADC. Kinda wild. That's insane. I guess the other thing I'm wondering, especially the Soul going all in this lifesteal,